pride, tradition, heart-pounding action. That's North Laurel Athletics, and we're now on the air. From our team to your home, here's game action from JDN, the Jaguar Broadcasting Network.
All right, welcome back everyone here to the Palace. We are live for our episode of the Jaguar Den this month. We are very excited for tonight's episode, but we'll catch you up a little bit on what's been happening recently here in your fall sports at North Laurel. First things first, our girls golf team won region, and we were talking about this a little bit. From all of the records we've been able to find, we believe that was the first time in school history for girls golf as region championships. And that allowed them to advance to semi-state. So congratulations, girls, and way to go there. On the boys' side of things, Will Sutton advanced to semi-state for boys golf. So congratulations, Will. And then your soccer teams are doing really well. Lady Jags were able to win the district championship last week. Your boys were district runner-ups against OBI, dealing with a lot of injuries on the boys' side of things. And I believe that game was a little bit more about let's rest and let's focus on what's ahead, which is trying to get another region title here. And they won the first round of region, I believe, tonight. Yes, they won tonight in the first round of region 8-0. So good job to our boys team there. Girls will play tomorrow night in the first round of region. So our soccer team's trying to keep the train rolling. They've built very good programs on both sides the last few years, and hopefully this will be a year where they can both come away with the region championship there. Talking about a little bit about what we got coming up, we have the one and only Les Dixon joining us tonight. He's going to come on here after this commercial break and get to talk to him a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes with the 13th Region Media Network, and who all plays a role in that and the rankings and everything like that you see week to week. Then we'll have our girls head volleyball coach, Lauren Culver, join us. She's going to talk a little bit about, stepping in to that head coach role. This is her first year here at North Laurel as head coach for the girls volleyball. So get to hear a little bit from her. And then we'll have volleyball student athletes Liberty Reingout and Michaela Clark join us. And then after that, we'll have head football coach Stephen Nelson and a few of his players talk a little bit about that. So we got a very exciting episode coming up. Again, as always, we would like to thank the Palace here in London for allowing us to host tonight and being very lenient with us. We had to push the show back an hour due to the elementary showcases and things going on tonight. So big thanks to the Palace for always working with our schedule. This is Jalen Black. You're listening to the Jaguar Den. We'll step aside and we'll be right back.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
Gospel, you have found the source. It's the Light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the Light of London for the very best country and Southern gospel.
We are the Light of London 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Palace. We are live and joined now by Les Dixon. Les, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show.
You're welcome, Jalen. I'm honored to be here. You guys do a fantastic job. I'm a course, a lot of people know I'm a North Laurel alum,
Mm-hmm.
and I love everything that you guys are doing, especially you. You're putting in a lot of hard work. You're going to school, and this is a whole lot harder than what people think. And you're doing a great job. And I look at your Facebook page uh, and things like that, and your future's bright, man. And I'm very happy for you and very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
means a lot coming from someone like you. You've been in
Well,
the sports journalism for a while, and
I've been in it for a long while.
yeah.
In our first year at North Laurel, I was the first class, graduating class, and we had a student newspaper, and it was called the North Star, and I was a sports editor at that. And I never thought in a million years, that I'd be doing what have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, when we started the North Star, we had folks like Russ Hensley, Todd Lyford, just a lot of folks that really loved North Laurel, loved what we were doing,
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely.
And you're carrying on, this tradition. It's a good tradition for the blue and green.
Absolutely. And one thing I was going to talk to you about was let you get a moment to talk a little bit about the 13th Region Media Network. I know that's something you started probably how many years ago?
It's been at least
4 or 5?
Honestly, I think we actually went by that name, about 6, something
Gotcha.
like that, years
Yeah.
ago. It started out as just a Facebook page, and I just got bored. And, you get bored with things, and you're
Yeah.
just like, hey, maybe we can promote student athletes this way. And it just grew and grew. And I have to give credit to Steve Black.
Yeah.
Steve Black one day messaged me out of the blue, and he said, hey, man, how about 13th Region Media Network? Have you ever thought of using that? And I said, sure. And we started it up. And, I will say this, we couldn't do what we do without folks that read our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our advertisers,
Yes.
just like you.
Yep.
I mean, L4 Security, Buddy Blair, and John Blanton have been outstanding. The supporters of the 13th Region, all the sports,
Yep.
and we appreciate them. But it's not. A lot of people just say, "Hey, it's Les Dixon," but it's just not me. We got photographers, Darren Spencer.
Yes.
It's like a big community.
Yeah. And it continues to grow.
Yes,
One new addition that I love personally, Sunny Ann Parton.
Yes. Hey, Sunny is wonderful, and she brings something to the table. And I like to say, just like with you, this isn't just when this is the females
Mm-hmm.
are really doing a good job, and you're doing a fantastic job. Sonny's doing a fantastic job, and she's giving me ideas that I've never thought of before.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you want to be successful, you surround yourself around successful people.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonny, just like you guys are going to have such a bright future. And to come out of the 13th Region area is huge. Real quick on one thing I want to, you look at the North Laurel High School, you look what you're doing. We have myself that went into the newspapers business and some other things. And then you got Trevor Sherman, graduated from North Laurel. He's a publisher of the Whitley County Republican News Journal, used to be a sports writer. Tim Brandstetter graduated from North Laurel. He was a sports writer. I mean, you look at the tradition, you think of softball, this, that, and other, but we're pretty good, academic-wise and
Absolutely.
journalism,
Yes.
And I keep saying this, but I'm proud of you because you and I maybe have talked 1 or 2 times ever. But, I watch what you do, and I just say stay quiet, silent. What you're doing is fantastic. What you guys have done is fantastic, and you've taken it and you've brought the Jaguar Nation to a different level, and that's a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. And obviously, don't get it twisted. This is not a one-man show. I couldn't do it without Ethan Eversole and my dad, Mike Black. They were kind of the ones that really helped me bring this idea to life. Kip Jervis was the one who had the Jaguar Den
Yes.
idea. He used to do it with his radio, and he wanted to bring it back. So, a lot of people are we're just working together. And
Yes.
like you mentioned, the more people you get, the more perspectives, more ideas, things you haven't never thought of. It really can open you
Right.
up to a lot of new possibilities.
That's what I tell Sonny. The one good thing about Sonny is I don't have to tell her what to do. She will just say, "Hey, I've got this idea," and I let her run with it. She has complete freedom. That's what I like to do. I don't want to micromanage. I don't want to tell them to do something. Sonny has made my job a whole lot easier, and it's just fun to have her around because she comes up with ideas that I've never thought of before. I'm getting on the older side, so I mean, I still feel like I'm 18, but I'm 50 years old, and I've been doing this. My first job, I was 15 years old. Jim McAllister hired me to cover games in this area, Laurel County, Sue Bennett College, and my payment was 7 cents a mile wherever I drove. But hey, it wasn't about money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was about the passion.
It was about my passion and what I wanted to do. And without Jim McAllister, I would never have done this, been able to do this. He passed a couple years ago, but he was the one that allowed me to get my foot in the door, and I just ran with it.
That's awesome. And one thing I just wanted to bring up, and you guys are doing the exact thing we're trying to do with this, with your 13th Region Media Network, and that's just to highlight the amazing talent and the amazing kids and athletes we have in this region. And I think a lot of people sometimes kind of forget why we do these things, and I've fallen victim to it too. It's not about the rankings. It's about these kids being able, to be able to have a good performance and then see them getting like the credit,
right.
and everyone around the town being able to hear about it and see these awesome performances or careers, and just an awesome way to keep everyone around this area up to date.
Yes. And look, social media allows us to get things out even more. And what I try to tell folks in 13th Region Media Network, that people that read our stuff, it is heavy sometimes toward a Corbin, North Laurel, South Laurel.
Yeah.
But I'm one person. I try to get coaches to call in stuff. Anyone's, feel free to send in anything. We'll run it. But like you were saying, it's all about promoting the student athletes, and that's the big thing. And I think we all forget at the end of the day, it's high school, and it's about the student athletes. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about none of us. It's about the student athletes.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people sometimes forget about that. And I also like to say, of course, you want North Laurel to do as good as you can.
Yeah.
With the 13th Region Media Network, one thing, I mean, man, if North Laurel's eliminated, cheer on the other team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because we're all one. We're all from 606, they say. So, but, I mean, it's been a fun time doing what I'm doing. I don't know how much I have left in the tank because, I mean, you do give up a lot. I mean, I know it takes a lot of time out of, but it's fun. And I mean, unlike you were athletic. You played varsity sports. Me, I played tennis at North Laurel, and my dream was I couldn't get to play sports, so that was my next avenue.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I enjoy doing it.
Yep. All right, so I'm just going to end with one last thing. I had to do it to you. Big Pittsburgh Steelers fan here, and my man Les, he's cheering for the Bungles, so it's been a tough start to the season for you. I honestly feel a little bit sorry. I do.
Well, here's the thing I say to my friends. Most of them's Pittsburgh fans. Look, I mean, I have to take my hat off to you guys because it seems like every year everyone counts the Steelers out.
Yeah.
And this year, they've been very fortunate to take advantage of the situation. What's happened to the Bengals and the Ravens, but hey, they win. They back up what they do. And I will say this before we go off. I go every year. I've been going every year to Pittsburgh to watch the Bengals and Steelers play.
That's a dream
and I can
for me.
understand why people are Steelers fans.
The
It's
atmosphere.
awesome.
Yeah.
The atmosphere at Pittsburgh's great. And, hey, I mean, I've got a Steelers cap at the house I wear.
Ooh, uh-oh.
and what's funny, and I'll let you go because I know we got to go. But the big funny thing is my youngest daughter is a Steelers fan.
There we go.
But my oldest daughter, Sydney, she's a Bengals fan, but she's filled it because she's like, Dad, is it always like this? And I said, yeah.
Sadly, yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you so much for having me on. And what you guys are doing here, this alumnus loves everything you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
And anytime I can help with anything, you know, I'm just a phone call away.
Well, we appreciate that, Les. Thank you for joining
You're
us
welcome.
tonight. We're going to step aside here. We're live from the Palace for the Jaguar Den, and we'll be right back.
For the best in Southern and country gospel, you have found source. It's the Light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the Light of London for the very best in country and Southern gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Palace. We are live for the Jaguar Den. You just heard from Les Dixon, and now we're here with Lauren Culver. Lauren, thank you for joining us tonight. We're excited to talk a little bit about the volleyball program.
Yes, I'm excited. I love my girls, and I'm pretty proud of them. It's been a building year, but I'm excited.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, Lauren is the teacher at North Laurel, and she's also a North Laurel alumni. So, again, that just talks a lot about our family kind of community feeling here at North Laurel. She loved the school so much as a student that she wanted to go to school and come back and be a teacher and kind of have that same impact that her teachers had on her. And not only is she doing that now in the classroom, but also, you know, as a head coach. So this is your first season. You've been involved in the volleyball program, you know, as an assistant for a few years, but talk a little bit about what this change has been like, you know, to finally be the head coach.
Well, with being head coach, I feel like I can kind of take pride in what I view North Laurel as. North Laurel is home. It is family. And I really want to build a culture of we are family.
Yeah.
And just show these girls what North Laurel means to me.
Absolutely. And, you know, our volleyball program the last few years has been, we play in a tough region. You know, you have Corbin, Whitley County, teams like that every year are dominant and, you know, are getting star players, you know, things like that. So it can be kind of difficult the last few years. It's kind of the situation that our girls basketball team was in, believe it or not, a couple years ago, like a while back, when Mahan took over. Talk a little bit about, you know, what you're kind of telling your players, you know, not get discouraged, but what's like the main goal you get through to them?
Well, we do play in a tough region, but like I told them today, because we face Pulaski County tomorrow, and that's a strong 12th region team.
Yeah.
I said, they're a tough team, but we are a tough team.
Yes.
And we can play tough teams. We can keep up just the same.
Absolutely.
Here in a few minutes, you'll see my two middle hitters, Michaela Clark and Liberty Reingout. One of them's a senior, one of them's a freshman. So from top to bottom, we've got strong girls leading on the court.
Absolutely.
And I think that in a region that's so tough, like, we just have to stay grounded of who we are and what our program represents, and just knowing that we are tough too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know, you've had a lot of roster changes too over the last 2 years, and that's just part of it. You can't please everyone, and sometimes it's hard for, as a high school, especially a high school female athlete, to find out what it is you really want to do. If you really love the sport, if you really want to put in, the amount of work you need to, but that has an effect on your team. Talk a little bit about who is like your main leaders right now on this team every day that show up at practice. They're vocal, and they're encouraging.
I think that the two that I brought today, Liberty, she always comes in with a positive attitude, and if she does make a mistake, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of volleyball. You have to have that next point mentality, otherwise it'll eat you alive.
Absolutely.
And then Michaela Clark, she's young, but she is so grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I would contribute a lot of that to her faith.
That's awesome.
She really does exhibit so many great things. She's a great person. She's a great teammate. Even if I looked at her and I'm like, you're not starting tomorrow, she'd be like, okay. And she would accept it. And I think we have a lot of young girls that really do want to put in the work and want to be better. You've got Chloe Blair, you've got Presley Collins, you have Lucy Jo Linville. All of those girls want to be better. And even moving on down to my JV team, you've got kids like Harley Smith and Morgan Preston. And Morgan Preston is a kid who, if she's on the bench for varsity, she's my loudest person out there. She's our biggest top person ever. Yeah. That's the best way I know how to word it.
Yeah, that's huge too, having girls that, understand it may not be their time yet, but to keep working hard, and stay the path that they're on, and eventually that'll be their turn.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit now about just district play. We're in a district with Jackson County, who has a pretty decent volleyball program, and have given us some fits in the past. Talk a little bit about, when is district play start?
District is next Monday.
Okay, I was going to say it's right around the corner. So,
a week from today.
As a coach, how are you preparing your girls, for the first goal, which is to get that district championship?
Yes, we played Jackson County at home first, and they came out strong. But we did too. It was a game that was very back and forth. We ended up playing 5 sets, lost by 2 in the last set. Last set was 16-14. And so that one was a tough one.
Yeah.
Especially when I can see that my girls are giving everything they've got.
Yeah.
And I'm coaching with everything that I've got. Just knowing that we barely came up short, it's tough. But you have to have that mindset. That does not determine the rest of the games against Jackson County for the remainder of the season. And so we went to Jackson County a couple weeks ago, and we swept them.
Nice.
We played all right first, second set. Third set, it was 25-8. And so that felt good, especially after they pushed us to 5 sets at home. They were missing a few players, though, and I'm not really sure what to expect going into the district tournament. But I know that my girls are capable of playing if they do have their full team.
Absolutely. And as a coach, it had to be, refreshing to see you lose to them at the beginning of the season. You come back and you're dominating them. That just goes to show, what you're doing in practice, what you're teaching these girls. It's working. They're improving throughout the season. And when you kind of step into a program as a new head coach, that's your goal right there. And like I told you before we got in here, you're not supposed to start up at the top, that defeats the whole purpose. It's a slow, steady climb, to get to the top, and your girls are already showing that improvement and the will, to get better and to win. So, thank you, Lauren, for joining us, and we want to wish you good luck against Pulaski and obviously in the district tournament, and fingers crossed you'll get that championship, and we'll get to follow you guys in the region tournament.
Yes.
All right. So we'll step aside real quick, and then you'll hear from the 2 middle hitters she was talking about, Liberty Ryan Gout and Michaela Clark, here at the Jaguar Den.
For the best You have found the source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the light of London for the very best country and southern gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are live at the Palace for the Jaguar Den, and I'm joined now by senior Liberty Ryan Gout and freshman Michaela Clark. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So just got done talking with your head coach, Lauren, and one of the things we talked about, this is her first year of head coach. I know you're a freshman. When did you start playing volleyball?
Well, I started playing volleyball at a really young age because of my sister. So honestly, kind of around probably 6. But I started playing for the high school. I've been playing about 3 years for the high school.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't tell me you're Allison Clark's little sister. That's awesome. I graduated with Allison. Love her.
Yeah.
And you're a senior. Have you played all 4 years in some in middle school?
I have. I started playing in 8th grade.
Awesome.
And I just kept playing. I've played every single year of high school and just grown with the girls.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys, have been you played under Coach Hendricks and stuff, and Lauren has been an assistant for a couple of years here at North. So just talk a little bit about what her first year as head coach has been like for you girls as players.
It started off, we were trying to adjust to the new coach. Definitely. Yeah. I think it helped that she's been with us for a few years.
For sure.
And she was my middle school coach, so all the girls knew her pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think it's gone pretty smoothly, past the start. Just because we've known her for so long.
Yeah.
And
yeah, kind of like Liberty said, I've known her for years, and there's been many head coaches kind of just come and go.
Yeah.
But through all that, she's always been one of our coaches.
Yeah.
So it's really great to know that we have somebody that's not going to leave, in a year or two. It's really nice to have that.
Absolutely. And I was talking to her. She's also a teacher. I don't know if any of you guys have had her in class.
Yeah.
And she's an alumni of North Laurel. She played here at North Laurel. That all plays a big role, in how she, is experienced and will know how to kind of run this program. And one thing we talked about was you guys have district tournament coming up.
Yeah.
And one of your all's biggest competitors in your district is Jackson County. And she mentioned how you kind of had a little bit of a disappointing loss to them at the beginning of the season. But a couple weeks ago, you guys really came in and dominated. Talk about maybe just the confidence that gives you guys going into district play.
Yeah, that was an amazing feeling, especially since that feels like a guarantee that we're gonna do pretty well in district. It just showed that we had progressed during the season.
Exactly.
And that we learned to work together better. We learned to be a better team, and winning against them after the loss that we took just felt like proof of our hard work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had all kind of got down after that one Jackson County game because we knew we could do better, but that just wasn't one of our nights. But I'm really glad that we all stayed positive, got better, and then we showed how we can really play.
Right.
And so I feel like now we're all a lot more confident in our skills going into district.
Absolutely, and it's always nice, to coming off of a win when you're getting ready to play against an opponent.
Definitely.
That definitely gives you that kind of confidence, knowing that you can do it. You've done it before. So we'll be watching you guys. Hopefully, you guys will be able to pull out the district championship and make it on the region. But something else I wanted to kind of talk about. Is your all's position. She told me you guys were middle hitters, and she said, honestly, she said that you two were 2 of your biggest leaders.
Aww.
And when she told me that, Liberty's a senior and you're a freshman, I was like, wow, for one to be at the top and one, just kind of starting out, I was like, for them to be your 2 biggest leaders, that's a pretty good dynamic duo right there.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what your all's goals are, in the position that you play and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, I think, that she's a freshman, I'm a senior, and we're both big parts of our team really goes to show that, our team isn't really, one to, leave some girls out and just because they're younger, older, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
We have a very, good team dynamic going. And I think everyone plays a huge part in it. And, me personally, I just think, especially as a senior, I take responsibility of uplifting the girls and always having a positive attitude because, I'm a senior and they're looking up to me of how they should react and,
Absolutely.
how they should play. And I just think the biggest thing for me is being an example and going to show that it's not really just about, getting down when you lose and being happy when you win. It's just about being an all around a good player and have a good sportsmanship,
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is for us because the team is just, we have really good dynamics, like you said. Like, it's not like the older girls are really mature and positive and the younger girls are kind of lost. Like, I feel like we have a really good team ethic and we all work together. So, and that's one thing about Liberty. Like, she's always been somebody that I look up to. Like, 7th grade year, I'd sit with her on the bus and she was always just this positive, and I'd look up to her. And I feel like she's really helped bring the team together this year.
That's awesome. Yeah, the senior leadership, it's huge, and especially when it's about, the way I always looked at it is when you're the senior, this is your last chance, to kind of turn things around, change things before you leave, and you're trying to make an impact on those younger kids, so as they get older, they will follow the same steps that you did and help the team, and that's what builds the program, and that's what will make your volleyball program really good in the years to come. So just to wrap things up here, I always like to kind of do a fun little question at the end. You guys have both played for a couple years. Talk about one of your most favorite moments of volleyball. It can be like a funny moment in the hotel at a tournament or on the bus, anything like that. Just something that stands out.
Let me think about this. I think at the beginning of this season, we went to Lexington for a Bluegrass State tournament. And when you mentioned stuff about the hotel, we had so much fun staying in the hotel together. I think, especially like being an older girl, it was more fun because I didn't feel as like left out as I have in the past. I think going to Malone's was really fun with the girls. It's just being around your teammates in a non competitive gym setting. I think that was really fun for me, like eating all the bread with them, stuff like that. And what do you think?
I remember us all stealing the bread at Malone, trying to steal it from Zach. Oh my gosh! But one of my favorites was honestly the last time we played Jackson for the district champs, because like that was one of the moments that I was just like, this is why I've always wanted to play for this team.
Absolutely,
like this is why I wanted to do this, because we all just came together and like we all just stayed positive. Like, we made a few mistakes, we just kept on pushing, and we did things that people didn't think we could accomplish, and so it was just a really good experience.
And that's one of the reasons why I just love sports, because here in 20 years, when you're looking back on your volleyball career, you're not going to think about the hard practice, the games you lost. It's always going to be about the friendships you created, the memories you made, and that will be the stuff, you tell your kids someday. And I think that's like the wholesome part of sports, is just the relationships and opportunities, outside of the actual sport that are created.
Definitely.
But Liberty, Michaela, thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. I enjoyed talking with you all a lot. So we will step aside. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back and hear from our head football coach, Stephen Nelson.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
You have found source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the light of London for the very best of country and southern gospel.
We are the Light of London 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Palace. We are live here for the Jaguar Den. We just got done talking, with volleyball head coach and some of the players about the volleyball program and kind of, the things that they are off to. And now joined here by North Laurel football head coach Stephen Nelson. Stephen, thank you so much for joining me here tonight on the show.
Thank you all for having me. We're excited to be here.
And just talk a little bit about Dad just mentioned off camera, this is the best start you guys have been off to with the football program since 2015 when you guys started out 9-0, and you were actually a senior on that team. Talk kind of about, the dynamic from being a player to now a coach.
So, me and my wife are both graduates of North Laurel High School. She's watching tonight. I told her I'd shout her out. So, hello, my love, Cuddy Beth, and the baby. She's got them at home. So, I played at North Laurel under Coach Chris Larkey from 2012 through 15, and 15 was my senior year. I graduated in 16, and we had a spectacular start to that season. We started out 9-0. We were averaging well over 40 points a game. We had a dominant running game, and what made that team so special was every guy believed, and it was really a brotherhood, and that was something we always talked about, and that was something I wanted to establish with these guys. And last year was a rocky road, new coach coming in, trying to establish the things we want to do and how we want the program to be. And these guys all bought in. We talked about it all summer. We went to football camp together, and that was something special that really grew our bond. And something I love about them is they never quit. We finished our road games this year, and we ended up going 5-0 on the road, which I'm very proud of. And each week we come in. I mean, today, as you know, we got a big game this week, and today I'd say this is probably our best Monday practice we've had all year.
That's awesome.
And the guys are really focused. They know what they can accomplish, and it's really blocking out all the outside noise. And the only thing that matters to us is the guys in the locker room and what we believe. So I'm very excited for them. I tell them every week I'm their biggest fan. So I love what they're doing. I love that they're representing the school and the community, because we love North Laurel, and I believe every one of these players do as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned your wife being an alumni. She cheered, if I'm not
No, her sister cheered. She swam. She was a swimmer.
Are they identical twins?
They are not. They're actually 14 months apart. But
that shocks me.
They look a lot alike.
They do. I get them mixed up all the time. But regardless, she's an alumni. She swam. You're an alumni. You played football. I was talking with Coach Lauren Culver about that. That's just a different type of special when you come into a head coaching position and your players know you've been through the same thing. You kind of – it makes that love for North Laurel, I feel like, go on to them a lot stronger than if it's someone else, who's not been a part of this school and this community yet.
Yep.
And I think that plays a big role into the culture, here at North Laurel. We love this school, and we continue, we don't only go to this school and play, but we find a career and we come back and give back to our school for what they did to us. And I just think that's something so special.
Yeah, and that's what we always preach to these guys. I have a lot of coaches with me that played there, and I have a lot that Darren McWhorter's been coaching there since the school opened almost. Yeah. He's having a ball this year. We all are, and it's something I preached all week. We got to continue to get better. And I tell these guys, I went through it. Listen, we went through it. I love this school. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And they know that. And Ethan, our athletic director, knows. He talks about that all the time. When you're from here, played here, you want to see everything. Listen, I root for our academic team to win state. I want everything to win. And I'm these kids' biggest fan, and I love what I do. And that's what makes it so special is I love what I do. I love the kids. I love seeing them be successful, and I hope we can continue doing that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that last year was your first season as head coach, and you called it a rocky start. I mean, that a rocky start, I feel like you did pretty well your first year. You made it to the second round, playoffs. You beat Montgomery County, ended up losing to Southwestern. But for your first year coming in, and football season's not like a lot of other sports. It's quick.
Yes.
You play one game a week, you got a bye week, but it's boom, boom, boom. It's not like basketball where you can play, 28 games in a season. You don't have a whole lot of time in one season to make a big improvement, So I thought your first season as head coach, you're not giving yourself enough credit there, but you come in now, you're 6-1, the only loss this season coming from Corbin. And I believe that was your all's Was that your second game?
That was our second game.
Second
and
game of the
we
season,
really
yeah.
we really went down 21-0 in the first quarter. The kids were
Yeah.
too amped up. I've never had that happen. They were too excited for the game, and really once we calmed down, we still lost the game, but we really outscored them 14-7
Yeah.
from the second quarter on. And the kids just since then, it's like it's all clicked for us, and we've played a whole lot better. But yeah, first season, my wife will tell you more than anybody. I'm a sore loser, so there was a lot of days. But I'm very proud of our senior group last year and stuff too, because they went through some adversity and battled back. And for a 4 seed to beat a 1 seed in the playoffs, that's a big
huge
deal.
Yeah, I agree. And you're coming off of a huge win at the reservation. Me, Ethan, and Jordan and Dad, we were talking about this game leading up to it all of last week. And Jordan, he gets fired up, man. He said, I'm 1-0 at the reservation. He said, and I'm about to be 2-0. He was like, every team I've went with that played at Southwestern football field, he was like, we came away with the win. It'll be no different. And you guys really – that was a good teaching game for you all. I mean, the adversity, I watched a little bit off and on, on the live stream, but questionable calls, things that your players can't control, you have no control over. That's huge, though, because when it comes playoff time, your players now know how to just go out and get the win regardless, of what comes their way.
I'll say this. We talk about this. We have an ongoing joke with the kids and the coaching staff that they hate us because they ain't us is what we say, and we laugh. And we like to have fun. But I believe I count me and Coach Jake McWhorter counted up there. I think we've had 7 touchdowns called back this year, and it's just mind-boggling. And 3 forced fumbles where the guys are standing straight up and drop it. So I just tell the kids, I'm like, listen, that's life. There's going to be adversity. Keep playing. And we had fall break, and that's no excuse. And I told them I was pretty mad at them. We started out pretty slow in that game, and then they understood what they were doing wrong. The halftime speech, it wasn't great, but I didn't hound them too much. And they come out the second half, and they got back to playing football how we know. And they know they got to put a full game together this week to beat a really good Pulaski County team.
Absolutely. So Jordan Markham was keeping me updated the entire game. This is happening. This is happening. We just did this. This is what the ref just called, things like that. And he was fired up about the 2-point conversion. So for those of you who don't know, Cam Anderson went out with an injury last week against Collins, our kicker. Talk a little bit about Coach McWhorter and what he has cooked up for you guys last week that helped you get that win.
Well, I'll give a special shout out to Cam too. Listen, we miss Cam, and that was one of those that Cam's one of our best receivers, one of our best weapons too, and he's really came into his own. And when he got hurt, it really was nothing, and that one was a heartbreaker for me. I couldn't even look at him at halftime. I told him I'm very close with Cam. I've known him since he was a little kid, so that one's been really heartbreaking, and I know it's eating him alive not getting to be out there. For a kid that's injured to show up to Sunday film and be the second kid there that can't even play, that shows you how much of a brotherhood this team is and how much it means to them. So Darren McWhorter, I informed him on we found out that what had happened to Cam, he wasn't going to be good, and I sent a text to Darren, and I said, get the 2-point plays ready, and he just replied and said, I'm on it. And let me tell you what, they were awesome.
He was on it.
We practiced them every day, and we had one where Jude snapped the ball too early, we thought, and we got in film, and it turns out the play clock was on one, and they adjusted perfectly, and Braxton Foltz had a big catch right there. So I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Coach McWhorter, and Coach McWhorter knows what he's doing. If anybody ever questions that, he's been around the game long enough and loves it. And, we really put a lot of practice in those because that's important points. You can't leave points on the board out there. And I'm proud of the way that the players executed.
He was perfect, wasn't he? 4 for 4? Were we 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions?
3 for 3.
3 for 3. Okay.
Because, he was first one Braxton Foltz caught a little swinging gate action. Then we also had Colton Gilbert catch one next. Then Braxton caught another one. So Braxton Foltz is another kid that's really came into his own, and I'm very proud of him and impressed with him. He had 100 receiving yards this week, and last week he had 97. So he's really coming on.
So we'll talk a little bit about your upcoming matchup, Pulaski County, right?
Yeah.
At home.
Big one.
Huge one right here. I mean, South Laurel, who has supposedly been one of the top teams in the region, they were undefeated until they went to Pulaski County last Friday, and I believe it was 42-7.
Yep, that's correct.
So a lot of people are looking ahead to the North-South game, getting kind of pumped up about this. But to me, this will be an even bigger test, a good test before that crosstown rivalry game.
And listen, we preach it all year. It's one game at a time. Go 1-0 every week. And they know how big Pulaski is, and that's what worried me about Southwestern. I felt like the kids were more worried about what Pulaski and South were doing to one another than who we were playing.
That's hard.
And so watch the film on South and Pulaski. Both good football teams. South had their chances. It really should have been 21-21 at halftime. They really couldn't execute down there in the red zone. Just mistakes. That's going to happen in high school football. And then the game kind of just got away from them. But Pulaski County's big and physical, and they got some guys that can run. And they got 2 big old tackles, Division I kids that have a lot of Power 5 offers. And then a quarterback throws the ball well, and they have a running back over there. He's one of the best in 5A. And then they have a defense that just gets after you. And our kids know what's at hand, and they understand if you win this game and you win the South Laurel game, you're the number 1 team in 5A in RPI, and you can host every playoff game until you get to the state championship, and that's something we preach every day. So they know how important this is and the kind of matchup. And I think we're taking the right necessary steps to be prepared, and the kids are really bought in, and they believe they're going to win this game, and that's half the battle right there.
Absolutely. And I'll just say, Coach, you got me fired up as an alumni. Like, I love football, North Laurel football. There's a picture of me and Dad. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, on the football field. Friday Night Lights was my favorite thing, and I kind of lost a little bit of that joy in the last few years. We've struggled. We've had our highs, but had a lot of lows too. But this year, not only just me, but I know tons of people, you've brought that North Laurel football joy back to them. And I think that's going to help you guys out Friday. I can almost predict the crowd's going to be really big.
Yeah.
You're going to have that home field advantage. But a lot of hype leading up to this game. Who are your leaders on the field, that kind of helps keep the team down, keep the composure, at an even level?
So we have a lot of leaders on this team. This whole senior class is wonderful. I mean, your best football teams aren't coach-led, they're player-led.
Yeah.
And, we need the support of the community too, so everybody come out to the game.
Absolutely.
We need you there. But I brought 3 guys with me that's going to be on here soon. I've got Reese Sutton, who plays defense line. And in my opinion, I'm a little biased, but I think he's the best interior defensive lineman in the state, and I tell every college coach that I can. And then I brought Zach Philpott with me too. He plays left tackle for us and on the defensive line, and he's a phenomenal player, great leader for us. And then our speaking captain every game is Mr. Cooper Robinson. I brought him as well today, and Cooper is having a phenomenal senior year. He's a great leader. He holds kids accountable at practice. If a kid tries to sneak off the scout team to get a break, just to sub a little freshman in there or something, Cooper's jumping on their hind end, making them get back in there. And then, of course, we've got guys like Colton Gilbert and Braden Foltz that are seniors, and Jude, the quarterback. And they have really pushed each other, held each other accountable, and they really have told these guys, like Braden told me last week, he said, Coach Nelson, when I knew we were really good, I was like, he said at football camp, he said, when we went and competed against each other, he said, I realized how good we are. He said, I think we can beat anybody. And that's the message we preach to these kids and what they got to understand. That's why you play the game. Anybody can win. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the season. And, their goal is let's go win us a region championship, be the first one in school history. That's the goal. That's the benchmark, be known as the best team to ever come through here. And I couldn't even put into words how excited I'd be. Now, I told them if they win me a state championship, I'm quitting and they can't get me back.
All right. Well, Coach Nelson, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really enjoyed having you on the show, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to hear from our 3 football players. You're listening to the Jaguar Den live from the Palace.
For the best in Southern and country gospel, you have found source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the light of London for the very best in country and Southern gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live at the Palace, and we are excited to hear from three of our football players tonight. We've got Cooper Robinson, Zach Philpott, and Reese Sutton with me tonight. And guys, we just got done talking, me and Coach Nelson, about the awesome season you guys have had. Dad mentioned it to me off camera. I don't know if you guys are aware, this is the second best start ever for a football team in North Laurel history. And you want to know what team was the first? Coach Nelson's senior team in 2015, they started out 9-0, and those have been the top two best, records for the start of a season. So you guys got some competition with your coach here maybe to try to outdo him, but we'll talk a little bit about, your record. 6-1, only loss coming from Corbin, and Coach Nelson told me that it was a really weird game. He thought you guys were almost too pumped up, at the start. And he said if it hadn't been for kind of the slow, rough start, you guys might have had a chance. You ended up outscoring them in the second half. Talk a little bit about that game and kind of things that you think you've improved on since then.
Well, for me, I feel like we were so maybe stressed out about playing Corbin. Not stressed out, but we were just amped up.
Yeah.
Just probably not in the right headspace to play. But I feel like, at halftime we kind of gathered our thoughts and just we started playing the way
Absolutely.
that North Laurel football plays. So,
Yeah, I completely agree on that. We came out. It honestly didn't feel real because we ain't played Corbin in so long.
Yeah.
It's just, they're such a intimidating opponent, I guess I should say, because they've been so good over the past years. And we just came out in the first half, and it was rough. Went down 21-0, but in the second half we really regrouped and came together and played the way we should have played.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like too, like that game started later because there was a game before. And,
that definitely had an impact.
Yeah, it kind of like threw us off on our routine and stuff. And yeah, once we like regrouped though, we did better in the second half.
Absolutely. And as weird as this sounds, I think the final score of a loss still shocked a lot of people. There were people expecting a shutout. You guys wouldn't even, see the back of the end zone. But regardless, you had a much better second half. So we'll fast forward to last week. Huge win at Southwestern, and I know you guys have played football for a while. You know how tough it is to go over there and get a win. It is hard, and you guys definitely did not go without your obstacles. I mean, a lot of questionable calls, a lot of big time, momentum shifts. Talk a little bit about, as seniors, what kind of what you were telling your team, to kind of stay in this game and take the lead.
Well, we started off rough in the first half, of course, which we had no school that day, and anytime going over to Southwestern, it's always a rough time playing over there. And because they're always good, even if their record don't show it, they're always good. They got a good coach over there, and came out in the first half and they shocked us. I honestly didn't think we prepared for them, but I didn't think they were going to be that good.
Yeah.
And at halftime, Coach Nelson talked to us. He got us pretty good, and we went out there and showed how we should have played and ended up coming out with a good win.
Absolutely.
Well, kind of what Zach said. We're high school kids. Anytime we get out of rhythm, it'll mess with us. So not having school for 4 days, just kind of mess with us. Not having practice at the normal time, maybe, I don't know. Anything just messes your rhythm up. You don't play the way you should. I'll say for me, honestly, I probably wasn't in the right focus state for them. Seeing a 1-5 record, I didn't personally feel that it was going to be that bad of a game or that tough of a game. But, Southwestern always gives us a great game, and I just feel that, we kind of once again gathered our thoughts in the second half and played much better football.
That's the thing about our schedule, too. Like, you can't really overlook anybody. That's really, like, you can't really just overlook anybody, honestly.
Yeah, and so you guys come out of Southwestern. The reservation, as Jordan Markham like to call it. He wants everyone to know he's 2-0. With teams he's went to at the reservation. he was very confident and had a lot of faith in you guys. I'll just tell you guys that. But now you got Pulaski at home, and I'm sure you guys are pretty pumped up about it being, the first home game in a while. You guys have finally completed all the road games, went undefeated on the road, and now it's time, for that. You played Collins the week before. What am I on? Okay. Anyways, nothing beats the home game under the Friday night lights. What is the mindset against a talented team in Pulaski?
We just got to go out there and, Pulaski's always good. This year, they're just as good as they have been the past few years. So just got to go out there, focus this week in practice and just go out there Friday and just can't play like we did in the first half against Southwestern. We got to play full game like we did against Collins and Madison Central, just play to the best of our ability and just put it to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, reiterate what Zach said. I feel that, we need to have kind of a medium between, not being not lazy, but, kind of dead like we were in the Southwestern game and, how amped up we were in the Corbin game, just kind of somewhere there in that middle where we can, go out and play the ball that we normally play and just not, be freaking out in the first half like we have in the past.
Absolutely.
I feel that if we go out and play the way we should, I think that it'll be a great ball game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think this week's got to be the most perfect week to practice that we've had, all year, in order to beat them, honestly. And because they're a great opponent, and everyone knows that. So, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Nelson said today's practice was probably your all's best practice you've had all season, and he said that gives you guys a lot of confidence, motivation heading into the game on Friday. But you're all three seniors. Just talk about, what your experience in moments like this, how is that going to show on the field Friday night? If you guys get down and you're trying to make a comeback, what do you tell some of the younger guys?
It's going to prepare us very well because, last year we had that skid where we lost a lot of games in a row, and then we came back at the end of the season, ended up winning 2 games and ultimately winning a playoff game.
Yeah.
And all three of us have had years of varsity experience, and we've been in tough games, of course, sophomore year we had the region championship against Highlands. That was a rough game. So we've all just played in tough games to just prepare us for this moment. And the younger guys, we had a young roster last year that started varsity. So most of the guys on the roster, even though that they're young, they've played. So should have a good game Friday.
So talk lastly just about, you guys mentioned you've played football for a while. I always like to end with a really fun question. Just talk about a moment. Is there a moment, a memory, something funny that happened, in the locker room, on the bus, at a hotel, something that just sticks out of your football career? That's appropriate. We don't want to say anything too outlandish, but
Zach, I'll let you take care of this.
Man, we've had a lot of moments, of course, talking about games, sophomore year, just being able to play in the region championship, that atmosphere up at Highlands, that was crazy. There was so many people there. And, of course, just getting to play with these guys. I played with Reese and Cooper my whole entire life since 4th grade. We've been stuck together with each other, and it's just been able to play with the same guys my whole life. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. And so Nelson mentioned it. You guys were, to come together these last few games and finish out the season strong. You've got a chance to win first ever region championship in school history. How does that motivate you guys, in practice when things are looking down and you need a little extra motivation? Is that something that's always kind of in the back of your mind?
Oh, yeah, most definitely is. The 2018 Philadelphia Eagles said, "Hungry dogs run faster." And I kind of feel like that's how we are. Out of every team we played this year, I feel like we've wanted it more. And we just go out there. It's just everybody on the team is just so physical, and we want it more than everybody that we play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and kind of like Zach said, kind of my personal thing is I've been playing with these guys literally since elementary school, and this season, almost 100% chance it'll be the last season we all get to play together. And for me, I want to play with these guys as long as I can. They're my brothers. I've grown up with them, playing with them, and I wanted to do something that's never been done in school history. And like he said, a lot of times, I guess people think that teams outnumber us and outspeed, outscale, whatever they want to say. But we're a physical football team, man. We go hit people in the mouth, and that's smash mouth football, as Coach Nelson calls it. And when you play as physical as our O line, D line, receivers, backs, all those guys play, man, it just changes the ball game.
Absolutely. So I just want to end off here. Those of you that know me know I'm a huge North Laurel fan in anything, but specifically football. I've loved it. I was telling Coach Nelson there's a picture of me and Dad somewhere. I'm probably 4 or 5 years old on the track at the football field. Like Friday Night Lights have literally been, my favorite thing growing up. And I was telling Nelson the last few years kind of lost that, that excitement and that joy, but you guys have done such a tremendous job this season that it's made it fun for not only me, but I know every other North Laurel fan. So just want to thank you guys, for your hard work, your commitment to North Laurel. You could have transferred, you could have left when things, got rough the last few years, but you guys stuck it out, and you guys have built one heck of a team for your senior year. So I just want to wish you guys, best of luck going forward, and you've got all of our full support here at North Laurel. So
thank you.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here. We'll take one more commercial break, and I'll come back and send us off. This has been the North Laurel football team on the Jaguar Den.
Country gospel, you have found the source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the light of London for the very best of country and southern gospel.
We are the Light of London 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back here to the Palace. We've had a really fun and entertaining Jaguar Den episode for you all this month. Definitely one of my favorites. I was just saying off air, all this football talk, about the season our boys are having. It's really got me pumped up, ready to run through a brick wall here. But not only that, getting to talk with our volleyball program. They're struggling, but as I mentioned to the players and Coach Culver, every program that is really good now was once in that position. And I use, the girls basketball program for an example. When Coach Mahan got here, it was rough. In the first few seasons with him as head coach, it was rough. But look at now the program he's turned that into. So same thing with our volleyball team. They've got some really good players who kind of embody that North Laurel culture. And I think that's going to start to show in the years and seasons to come, kind of the groundwork that they've laid along with Coach Culver. It's going to come to fruition in the next few years. In our volleyball program, they're going to get there. So very proud of Coach Culver in her first year, and what they've been able to do so far. And, we're looking for that district championship win and a good run in region. And our football boys, obviously, really good start of the season, 6-1, only lost to Corbin, just beat Southwestern at Southwestern. Big game against Pulaski County. This is probably that mid-season test. When you're a coach, you're making the schedule. You put games in certain weeks, certain timelines throughout the season to really figure out, who your team's going to be when it comes down to the championship, to the region, to the playoffs, to things like that. And I think this week's game is going to be a huge telltale sign in that. But I think they're ready. We heard from Coach Nelson. We heard from the boys. They're all feeling motivated. And they all four agreed that today's practice earlier was the best one they had of the season. So everyone come out Friday night to the jungle. I mentioned it twice this show, I believe. I'll mention it a third time. Friday Night Lights is where it's at. If you're a student, dress up, go to the student section, do all the fun things because, pretty soon you'll be a NARP, a non-athletic regular person like me, and you'll be hosting a monthly show talking to the athletes and reminiscing on the glory days. So come out, support your Jags. They really have the chance to do something special here towards the end of the season, and I'm excited to see what they've got in store. Looking ahead, next episode, we're going to plan for November 3rd. And in that episode, we'll highlight our band, our cheer team, and our dance team. That one is going to be very exciting because all three of those categories, are our sports team that really focus on the spirit side of things. They come to all the games. The band's always playing music, football, basketball. The cheer team's always there. The dance team's always working on great performances for halftime entertainment, things like that. So this will be a very school-spirited kind of episode for us there. So as always, very grateful for everyone who tunes in. Share this live stream with somebody. Big shout-out once again to the Palace. They've given us such a great opportunity here, great area to host, and we're grateful for them. And big shout out to my man Les Dixon for wanting to be on the show tonight. Had a good time, talking with all things 13th Region sports with him and kind of talking about the athletes there, and also making a little fun of him and his poor Bengals right now. But overall, very fun episode. I've had a great time. And looking forward to the next one. So you've listened to the Jaguar Den live from the Palace. Good night and go Jags.
You've been tuned in to North Laurel Sports on your home for all things North Laurel athletics. WJTE FM 98.5, The Light of London, and North Laurel Nation on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Until we play again, good night and Godspeed.